Good morning, good evening. Whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you might be doing, we wish to welcome you to the Silverlight Show. The Silverlight shines to illuminate that which lies hidden in darkness. As you can hear, I'm able to use my own voice again. That's because the munchkin is out, and it's just me in the house, so I don't need to worry about people hearing things that sound a little bit strange, which I admit I talk about some strange things. Let's get right into the meat of the matter, though. I'm starting to see the world open up. And this is, at first glance, a good thing. The pandemic is receding. Let's be optimistic. I'm still calling for something shady to happen around September, but let's throw that out of the window. Let's be optimistic. Let's say from here on out, it's sunshine and butterflies. Everything happens magically. Fantastic. We all want that. We don't want a return to normal. We want a return to better. The problem is, what's happening to all those poor people that lost their jobs? Currently, it's the middle of June, more or less. And I'm looking out casually at a bunch of people. I'm not showing you any of them out here. I'm purposely putting up here because it's a nice view of the tree, and I don't want any license plates or anything to be visible. So it's a good, easy view to take, and it's a beautiful tree. Like I said, people have lost their jobs. Now, if you notice, I live in a housing section. I know a vast majority of people here are not working for various reasons. And now that the economy is coming back, let's be honest, those jobs are gone. What was once very good, well-paid jobs, at least relatively speaking, have evaporated. Now, if you're a company, small business, big business, middle business, you've seen 3 lockdowns already. You're not likely to hire an employee, lock, stock, and barrel, fork over for benefits, fork over everything, just to be able to shut down again in a couple months, which may still happen. And if you're a company, and this is one of the few times I will defend any corporate entity, I can't blame you for thinking that way. Because it's happened before. Companies are notoriously conservative about hiring new employees because they're aware of the bottom line. There's one branch of thinking which says hire them all, we'll give them what hours and what loads that we can give them, and those that quit. We'll try to keep the best and get rid of the worst. That's going to happen. But a vast majority of owners who are fiscally conservative and who are not exploitative are going to say, I only have 120 hours to give in a week, so I'm going to hire 5 people, 2 of them part-time to plug in shifts wherever I need, 3 of them more or less full-time, although I don't think anybody would be hiring full-time at the present. And that would be a logical thing to do. Again, I'm speaking on behalf of corporations here, which does bother me a little bit. But the same token, you can understand it. It's the same reason why you didn't go out and buy a new car. It's the same reason why, despite what the sign says, most people aren't selling their house to buy a new one. Because we know the money isn't there. And even if you were blessed enough to be sitting on a small fortune, you decided to stay the course. Hold tight. Once we get to the end of this, there will be deals. And we can see how bad we've gotten into our savings. Companies think the same way. And remember, with them, it's not only spending money on an employee's salary, but also their benefits. And even though they're not paying benefits to you, they are paying insurance benefits and they are paying government benefits, taxes on your behalf. So it is an investment for them. Not only a financial investment, but an investment because they have to have another person there who's going to sort through the salaries and make sure the government gets exactly what they want. Or most companies do. Something I've noticed is becoming more and more prevalent is cash under the table jobs. Now, going on Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace and stuff like that, I see these being advertised all the time. And the basic premise that's being offered is, I'm going to pick on knife sellers because that's what it is. You buy your set of knives. As soon as you sell that set of knives, you buy another and you've paid for your income and this, that, the other thing. And the benefit to this is that you can also declare unemployment or welfare at the same time. I have picked on retail establishments. I have picked on food service establishments, but I've never had the opportunity to pick on something so criminal, so disturbing as people who are literally encouraging you to go out and defraud the public taxpayer system. I'm normally not the biggest proponent of the public taxpayer system. Yes, let's pay our fair share. But this is criminally wrong. They're expecting you to go out, bust your hump, make money, and then lie to the government about it. And that's an expectation in their jobs. If you hear about this, I encourage you to report it immediately. The other question that we have to face off against, leaving corporations aside, okay, let's assume corporations play it smart. And they're going to hire one or two people. Corporations are very conservative when it comes to hiring people, because even in good times, they're thinking, okay, we need a new janitor, but do we really need that new janitor? Yes, things are disgusting. No one's cleaning up at night. But for us to hire a night shift janitor, we have to hire another person to watch them or dedicate somebody to be responsible for them. And ultimately, that's a big investment. So even though they need it, they'll defer it for as long as possible. Ask the huge amounts of lawyers out there that are desperate to get a legal assistant, a secretary, whatever, and usually they share pools of them. So you'll have 12 lawyers sharing a pool of, say, 6 legal assistants. And they just work the legal assistants to death until they get all the work done. Now, again, this model I don't particularly complain about, but not everybody's a legal assistant. Not everybody's a nurse. A lot of people have expertise that has simply, the need for it has simply gone away. The benefits, okay, mid-June. The benefits that most people qualify for run out in October. So do you think in 4 months, the population is all magically going to find jobs? The engineer next door, the guy in logistics next door, the various other types of talents. Do you really think there's that many jobs out there? There's going to be an initial bit of optimism with cafes and restaurants opening up again. Yes, they need wait staff because chances are the wait staff that was there 2 years ago has not been sitting at home waiting for the call to come back, with a few exceptions. You always have those few loyal employees that you hold on to, but very few people are going to hold on waiting for a job for 2 years, 1 year, much less 2 years, just hoping you're going to call them back. It doesn't happen. So all these people, and this is a high residential area, as you can see with the high-rise condos in the background. This little area is going to be hit fairly bad. If this area gets hit bad and people have to sell their houses, that's going to lower the overall market for real estate. Now, if real estate starts dropping, which it is quite likely to do, we're looking at a repeat of 2008 all over again. That's right. We didn't just go through it once in the past 15 years. Let's do it again. And this is what I see being the very near future, October. Unless I start seeing grants and extensions and things like that coming up, all these people are magically going to get cut off and said, good news, you're free, go find a job. And the few employers that are hiring are going to be very selective, which is their right. If I've got one position open, I got 10 people, I'm going to choose the person that I want. I'm going to look through their qualifications, their background, all that sort of stuff, and that's going to be the person that I pick. Some people have different criteria, depends on the business. That's the way I run my business. I look for the most qualified and the person that I feel is going to get along best with the team. Again, personally, that's me. But for all the rest of the people out there, I'm not even going to hazard a guess of the percentage that had jobs before are going to have to wait for companies to start getting brave enough to be hiring again. And companies aren't stupid. They know there's so many people looking for work, they're going to be able to hire at bargain basement levels. Gone. Okay, the average income in the United States and Canada was about $40,000 a year 2 years ago. I can't wait to see that statistic blown up. Probably drop to 30, might even drop to 20. And then what do? There's talk of the universal basic income, and I fundamentally support it, but I have so many questions about how it will be administered that I don't think we're ready for it yet. We still have to do a lot of jury rigging and feeding into the system. Now, ultimately, I think it could be successful, because if I can turn around to a Tim Hortons, a Starbucks, or whatever, and tell them, hey, instead of paying $15 an hour for your employee, you can pay them $5 because the universal basic income will take care of it. I think companies will be for it, despite the fact they have to pay a higher rate for the taxes on their employees. And we will, instead of getting a $2 cup of coffee, we'll be getting a $5 cup of coffee. I do think it's worth it because, again, we're looking at a possible massive financial collapse. After October, what's the first big holiday you think of? For some of you, it's Thanksgiving. For some of us, it's Christmas. If retail doesn't turn in good numbers at Christmas, the world goes to panic. They all go, oh my God, we have to shut this down. We have to shut that down, blah, 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 blah. And you know what? They're right. And this will be an acid test for our entire system. Are we capable of actually making it through the end of this year, not having massive layoffs, not having a massive deterioration in the income that people get? It's a real good question, one that requires extra work for all of us. So my opinion is start now, middle of June. The best people I know that have the most possibilities are good until October, at best December. And if you're not working, you're not buying your family fantastic Christmas presents. Or if you happen to live by yourself and not have anybody to buy presents for, you're not getting yourself that big screen TV that you planned for. 2021 will be a real bellwether year. We'll have to listen, watch, and work. Because quite frankly, I don't know if we're going to make it through this successfully. The corporations are going to shuffle their papers, they're going to make numbers appear out of thin air, and hopefully, everything goes well. But I'm looking at the regular people, not corporations. Corporations do fine virtually no matter what. You can bankrupt a corporation, but it takes real hard work. You can bankrupt an individual, and that doesn't take a lot of work. 2 years of no work, or let's be more realistic. A year and a half with no work and no opportunities is enough to bring anybody to their knees. So let's see what happens over the next 4 months. Either we get this massive surge of employment where people are being hired and they're happy to work as Walmart greeters and baristas and, Tim Hortons just shoving coffees out the door. Or companies decide to do the proper thing, stay the course, and hire conservatively. Once they feel they're truly overwhelmed, then they'll hire somebody. And that means that the retail chains out there, whether they be online or not, are going to report a massive loss in Christmas, and we'll have more layoffs in January. This is going to bumpy ride. This has been going to be a very bumpy ride, everybody. So buckle up, and I hope whoever you are, wherever you are, you have a great day.